My name is Andres Quintanar, and I am a senior at Denver East High School.
Hi, I'm Esperanza. I'm 19 and I'm currently a full-time student at UCCS studying nursing.
Hi guys, my name is Gaurav, I'm 18 years old, and I recently graduated from Stripe Prep Rise High School.
My name is Matthew Romo Nichols. I'm currently 20 years old, and I'm an incoming junior at the University of Denver.
Hi, my name is Mela Robinson Castillo, and I currently attend the University of Denver.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Aquino, and I'm a racing senior at KEEP Northeast Denver Leadership Academy.
Hi, I'm Serafina Lucas, and I go to the University of Denver.
Hello, my name is Shamar McGee. I'm 18 years old. I'm a rising sophomore at the University of Denver.
We are the Young Invincibles, and we've decided to do a project on mental health to highlight its importance as a whole and in this dire time of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We brought together youth and mental health professionals in order to speak on the topic of mental health and to end the stigma around mental health illness.
Did you know 1 in 5 people in America live with a mental health illness? That's how common it is in this country.
Did you know that 4.29 million students would have graduated from college if they weren't severely struggling with mental health issues? This is the amount of students that could have been cared for if we had better mental health care on campuses.
Times are changing, and we need to be supportive to those who struggle with their mental health and find every way we can to help them on their journeys. Remember, you're not alone.
One word that describes mental health to me is evolving. I think that mental health and the challenges it brings evolves from day to day, month to month, week to week, year to year, and it's completely circumstantial. And I think that depending on how you're doing at the particular moment, it requires different solutions, and it's really listening to your mind and really listening to your body and coming up with solutions that work for yourself.
Complicated because I feel like, especially if you have multiple disorders, you just don't know why you're going through what you're going through sometimes. I know that's how it was for me. I was always like, why do I do this? And I was like, how do I fix this? And I never really had the resources growing up to really cope with everything that was going on until I got into college. And that's when I started to really discover my mental health, and it was complicated.
In many ways, it's caused me to be anxious and even think negatively about myself and what's going on in the world. COVID has made me doubt myself when it came to taking online classes. However, I decided to look at the positives of this situation, from staying at home and doing online classes, and overcome the doubts that I was facing.
For me, the biggest thing with the pandemic has been the uncertainty it's brought into my life. There's a lot of unemployment certainty, especially for internships going into my senior year. There's a lot of just uncertainty in the world, and that's honestly the main reason why I have my anxiety. I typically feel that I'm a very black and white person. I like to know things definitively, yes or no, and honestly there's been a whole lot of gray area in this pandemic, and it's just been something that I've had to cope with and learn to accept the uncertainty as a part of everyone's reality and everyone's part of daily life.
The biggest challenges I've faced, I'd say it was definitely balancing between family and friends, as well as figuring out what I was going through.
Comparing myself to others, which is either feeling that I'm alone, feeling that I'm different, feeling that I'm not good enough. It's negative. It's not good to compare yourself. Yet I did.
Keeping up with my high expectations that I set for myself and allowing myself to fail. I always put the pressure on myself to succeed on the first time, or trying to achieve the highest grade, or make the biggest impact in my extracurriculars, when honestly there's times when it's okay to take a step back, or it's okay to put extra effort in. You just have to listen to your body and listen to your mind and find what's right for you.
The killings of people like George Floyd, Elijah McClain, Breonna Taylor, and so many more relates to my skin and how I'm being treated as a person.
It's on the news, all the widespread suffering and economic hardship and family hardship seen across this country. As bad as it is to say, I'm kind of desensitized to it right now because I've been exposed to the news from such a young age.
It makes me very anxious and it makes me very scared. It makes me want to do something. Advice that I'd give to other people, because honestly in my family, because I come from not only a single parent household, but I come from people of color, and the stigma of mental health within our community is just non-existent in terms of you don't talk about it, you don't speak about it. You need to go out and you need to get your job done, you need to get your stuff done, and there's no room for imperfection type of deal. And that was me growing up. And I would say my advice to other people is be flexible, be there, be a support, educate yourself, and seek help for your youth or even your friends, that type of deal.
Talk to people. There is absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out to a friend, a family, a neighbor, anyone to talk about your mental health. And
no matter who you are, no matter what gender, race, sexual orientation, or religious identification, no matter what, you deserve to make sure that you are okay.
Hi, my name is Sam Field, and I am a therapist here in Denver. I run Field Therapy, which offers individual counseling, group counseling, and consulting. One thing I love about being a therapist is that I'm always learning. I'm learning as I practice, but I'm also always learning from my clients. But I would say one important lesson that I've learned is to be flexible and expect things to not go as planned. And I believe that from that place, things are a lot easier to navigate. And I want to say yes, yes, and yes. This is a really wild and unprecedented time, and overwhelm is super normal, especially for students. I mean, you all are in such transition all of the time as young adults, and then also just it's a time of transition. So I would encourage all students and really all people to feel all of the different emotions that you are feeling. And I would also encourage students in particular to figure out how you can rest. I talk about this time as riding a roller coaster. So we're always up and down, and our nervous system is always up and down, but we really need to give ourselves some rest and our nervous system some rest so we can keep doing all of the important work, and so you all can keep doing all the important work of being students. I would say that, first of all, there would be a lot more funding for mental health. I would also say that all jobs would offer mental health support, so not just the opportunity to seek out therapy through your job, but almost like a encouraged requirement for all employers to provide their employees with mental health services. In addition to sick days, have mental health days, so maybe just as many, or if not more. I think we really tend to think that mental health is like this untouchable island, whereas it really needs to be more integrated into the wholeness of how we take care of ourselves and how we take care of each other, and should be treated like sick days when we're not feeling well. And I would make it a lot easier for insurance to cover mental health. Right now, it's quite a hassle to get mental health covered under insurance, and depending on what insurance you have, it sometimes only covers a certain amount of mental health services, so I would definitely make it more accessible from that perspective. And then I would say the last two pieces I would offer, I would make sure that mental health was being taught throughout every school age. I think that we need to be normalizing mental health from a really, really, really early age, and then continuously through adulthood. And then lastly, I would make it more accessible for folks of color, LGBTQ identified folks, and other marginalized communities, more accessible for them to seek out education and a track to become mental health providers, because our field is quite white and we really need to integrate non-white folks into the healing profession.
So let's end the stigma together.
Let's end stigma together.